What a difference a day makes on the Nasdaq. You can see that it was up 391 points today, or 2.03%. So it got back more than half of that whack day from Monday. And on Monday, in all fairness and all defense to the index, most stocks were up on Monday. It was just like 30% of the stocks were down, and the ones that were down a lot. And you can see the Nasdaq was down 612 points or 3.07% on Monday. Today got back 2.03%, 391 points. So that is a very good start. I'm just playing by the rules here. When it goes below the 21, I'm more defensive and I reduce. And when it goes back above, I'm more aggressive and I increase my exposure. And yesterday, we traded below, with volume. And so I went to the, more cautious stance. And now today it closes above. So now I've got to be more aggressive. And that's just the way January's been. It's been a roller coaster ride. And it just, the best ability that we have in the market is flexibility. And I'm just trying to be as flexible as possible and not being too dogmatic or rigid in my positions because that will get you killed, as we saw with some of those data center and energy plays and hardware plays on Monday. And anyway, that was kind of a one-off. Those things don't happen very often. I'll discuss that in a minute. But the Nasdaq, when you get knocked down like that, it's like a prize fighter, taking a standing eight count. You got to, take a little bit of inventory and, you don't expect these stocks to come right back. They take the standing eight count. They need a cut man. I'm gonna talk about those stocks in a minute because it's good to know what to stay away from as well as what to buy. And anyway, so the Nasdaq back above its moving averages here. You can see 0.3% above the 10, 0.6 above the 21, and 1.2% above the rising 50. All right, I'm going to go to the SPY here. It's doing a little better than the Nasdaq. You can see it didn't get the damage quite so much that the Nasdaq did. 1.4% on Monday. Today got back, 0.86%. So it's not as volatile, obviously. And now closed today 1.3% above the 50, 0.7% above the 10. But still, consolidating within this space here. And I believe eventually it's going to take out that 609.07 here. Just a matter of time. It's just, like I said, trying to be flexible, trying to roll with play by the rules and roll with the market, roll with the punches. If I could use another prize fighter analogy. All right. I guess I'll start off with the Batman stocks. I wasn't going to do this, but anyway, very quickly, you can see Broadcom took a shot here. Like I said, it's not going to get off the mat and throw a knockout blow. It's just taking some inventory here, standing eight count. It's going to go see its cut man. And I'm not going to give up on Broadcom because it's still above its 50, but I don't expect it to make new highs above 252 anytime soon. It's got to regroup a little bit, and so today was, I would say, if I owned, Broadcom, I'd say that it hurt. Monday hurt, but Tuesday's an inside day and it's back above its 50. So licking its wounds. How about that? Seeing the cut man. Apple, Apple's a flight to defense. They're going to report earnings on Thursday, so it's really pointless, really, trying to diagnose technically Apple because we're going to know more after they announce earnings and we'll see what kind of a response we get from Apple. Same with Tesla. They report tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day. We're going to hear from Tesla, Meta, Microsoft. It's a big week. Jerome Powell, he's going to talk, I don't know. He's not going to lower interest rates this time around. He's going to pause, but Tesla just pulled back to its 50, acting okay ahead of earnings. Not great, but not horrible either. Meta, this is one of the stronger. This is the strongest Mag 7 or Batman stocks. You can see it's been ripping with breaking out of a base with volume yesterday, and so congrats to the longs there. Microsoft, it was up today, down yesterday, big. Today, fought back. This is a nice bounce back here, down a little more than 2%. as it pulled back to its 200 on Monday. Let's take a look at this on a 5-minute chart. Yeah, look at that gap lower, and it's been bought up ever since into the earnings report tomorrow. So we're going to hear from these companies. So, no sense in, in rambling on about, these stocks or Google reporting next week. So once again, above its moving averages, acting fine, making these higher, lows here, if you will. Um, so yeah, just trending higher. How about that? All right, it needs to make higher highs above the 201. How about that? And then Amazon, another one that you gotta like Amazon here. The 233 area broke above it. If you're a Darvis box type of guy, you could say that this is breaking out of the box there. So Amazon looks good. And then NVIDIA got hammered yesterday on the deep six news, deep seek. Uh, I don't know what to make of Amazon, NVIDIA. It's been dead money for a long time. I've been saying this. The move yesterday was more about, is more mechanical than anything. So I don't think there's a lot of people saying they hate NVIDIA now or business is any worse because of deep seek. It's just a mechanical thing. I'm going to get to all those in a minute, but I have to go to, yeah, pull back. Closed below its 200 and today closed above it. So if you're long NVIDIA, you could at least hang your hat on that. It's above the 200. And long-term winners are going to trade down to their 200, every now and again here. There's this line here. It's been a long time since it's done it, but you could see in 2021 it was down there, and then obviously the bear market 22. It's been a while since it's been down there though, so yeah, uncharacteristic for NVIDIA, and you can see it's 15% off of its 52-week high. Anyway, I've got to get to some of the earnings reports this morning because I'm a big believer in earnings, and earnings drives stock price appreciation over time. And we see this is Royal Caribbean, and they went up not only on earnings, but they announced some news that they're going to start offering different types of cruises, celebrity cruises, river cruises, which would bite into Viking, and I'm going to get to that later on. But a nice response for their earnings report, up 12%. RTX, the old Raytheon, I mean, breaking out here of this base. I would have put this on, but they had earnings this week. As you can see, it's trading tight within the base. You know how I like that. But anyway, I don't, I'm not going to take the risk of, buying into earnings, and, it's like a coin flip, or probably worse. LMT, there's your coin flip going the other way, down 9%. Following its earnings report, that's Lockheed Martin. GM did not fare very well, down 9% after their earnings report. And then Boeing, Boeing is pretty much a government entity, like too big to fail, because there's Airbus and Boeing, so you can't let it fail, or there will be a monopoly with Airbus. So this thing will always be supported, and there you can see it's kind of breaking out of this, box area here. Anyway, the last one I got to get to is CVLT, Commvault. Very crazy move. The CEO, I just saw an interview with this guy. He was talking about the partnership with CrowdStrike and the need for end-to-end security. And so I don't know. Yeah, I just want to show you this move here. I'm going to go to the 5-minute chart. You can see the open there. And then so it opened, and we'll go up here, I guess, 169, and then the next tick, 165. We'll call it 165 5 minutes in, and then a half hour later, it's 133. Wow, that'll make your heart stop. 32-point move, whatever the heck it was. Like, holy moly, what's going on here? Um, and then buyers came in, and this is why I say the earnings responses, man, it's just that is a crazy move. And if I owned that thing, I would just, you'd have been stopped out and then probably not buy it back and then just watch it go back to where it was on the morning tick, the first tick at the open. So you could see that crazy bar as it traded down to its 200, 169 down to 133 in half an hour's time. I mean, come on, man. Hopefully you were, running on the treadmill or walking your dog or swimming or biking or hiking or skiing or something, but not watching that, that is a heart stopper. Um, uh, it traded below its 200 and above its all of its moving averages all within half an hour. So that's pretty crazy stuff. But overall, up 1% with 500% above average volume. Okay, I've got to get to some of these names that I want you to forget about. Um, really, because they've got massive breaks in their charts here. I know GEV, they just reported last week. Nothing's changed with their business. They reported they guided to 37 billion annual revenues. That's not going to change. In fact, today they announced a deal with Chevron. Then the 37 billion is probably sandbagging. They're going to do more than that, but nothing changed fundamentally with the company. It's just the stock, when everybody's overloaded on these data center plays, these energy plays, these AI, everybody was all in on the artificial intelligence. That's why I kind of give some people a hard time, like some of these analysts who are just always bullish. You got to look at the other side sometimes, like what could go wrong. Anyway, when you're overloaded, margin, over leverage, out of your on your skis, you got your nose out over your toes on your skis. Um, and then you get a margin call, you have to sell stock. So you get liquidated, you have to sell stock that you like. And you got to answer those margin calls. And this one sold off to the tune of 22%. And when you see um, model book stocks, you don't see big breaks in their charts like this. Like Vistra was down, what, 28% on Monday. It had an inside day today, a nice little bounce. But, I could show you some stocks from oh shoot. Gosh, since I'm going to do this, let's go to Qualcomm, one of the all-time stocks from 2000 when it had the crash there. It doesn't have, during this big run the whole year from 2020, excuse me, from 1999 to 2000 is straight up. Up, 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 gap up, 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 gap up. That's what winning stocks, model book stocks do. They don't they don't mess around with 30% drops. I'm going to show you a chart from Intuitive Surgical, another monster winner, just up, 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 right? Okay. This has been a monster back in 2005, 2006. I could go back before, the break there at 139. But yeah, I mean, it's just these things go up and 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 up. And they don't have 30% drawdowns in the middle of their charts. Maybe, you know what I should do? I should just do a weekend video and just show you, I don't know, five or six. I got to get the right date here. Yeah, okay. Five or six, model book stocks and just show you what they look like because they don't look like that. They don't do that. Talon, same thing. These things are gone. Forget about them. CLS, they're broken charts, broken hearts. Now what happens is they trade up to the 50 and they get rejected there. So that what was once support becomes resistance. BRT is another one. It's just they're broken. This one traded down to the 21, tried to bounce a little bit today, but yeah, you can trade any stock at any time for a trade or a bounce. But if you're looking for a longer term move here, this is a broken chart. So, you know what? I think I will just on the weekend do a quick little video of what to look for and what not to look for. And these things are broken for now. You can come back to them, maybe trade them later if this one wants to form a base or whatever. But I took them, I crumbled them up. I threw them in the fireplace and I put some lighter fluid on them and I burned them. They're like kindling. So digitally, I just, wiped them off my watch list because I'm not watching them anymore. So that's the last you're going to hear me talking of those for a while. So what am I looking at? Well, if you belong to mcstockcharts.com, some of the stocks that I've had on the ready list. This week, CrowdStrike is one, and the reason why is pretty obvious. Trading tight within a base, near a moving average. Pullback on Monday. Everything was kind of weak yesterday. Actually, it wasn't too bad on Monday, and then gapped higher today. Nice move today of almost 10%, 9.3%. Yeah, how was this move yesterday? I don't think it was too bad. Oh yeah, flat. It was flat as a pancake. It did trade down to 159, so and then as the old slingshot higher as it broke out of that base there at that what is it, 389? Yeah, standard buy point. I think I had it lower. It doesn't matter. It's just that it broke out. And something similar here is Snowflake, which looks good. I had some people asking me, is it too late? Is it too late? I don't think it's too late. The problem here is, it's 7.8% above its 10. So it might need, and it's straight up from the bottom, 153 to 188. So it might need some time to just kind of not form a handle so much as just allow the moving averages to catch up if it just goes sideways for a couple days. So definitely one that's on my watch list. I'm not going to put it on my ready list just yet because I'm not ready. Another one that I have on my ready list is Spotify. Obvious, cup shape pattern here. Pullback yesterday. And even though the Nasdaq was getting torched, it was still up. So that's showing relative strength. And what happens today breaks out. Nice move for Spotify. A couple other ones that I have. You know what? I'm gonna switch over here because I want to show you something that I believe, you remember App 11 last year, we had App 11, big move higher. I think Twilio, it's got the look that it might want to do this, that 116 is it gapped out of this little flag pattern, this shelf, if you will, flat base, gapped higher, and it's not looking back. It's not even trying to approach the lows from that gap day. So this is showing incredible strength. Yeah, the low is 133.51. And if I show you a weekly chart, you can see that move higher than that flat base or, the shelf pattern, if you will, that looks kind of like that. So, in spirit, a high tide flag, call it whatever you want. But I call it going higher. And I just wanted to compare that to App 11 because App 11 did something similar where it, made this big move and now it, it's going sideways here. And it did this once before, where it made this big move and then went sideways. So App 11, maybe you can see it better on a daily chart. Yeah. And so that's what got me originally into App 11. It doesn't really look like here, but it went to like 40 to 90, as a two bagger, went sideways and then just ripped higher. Twilio has this same type of feeling to me. All right, I'm going to move on because I'm going to get myself in trouble if I keep talking about this stuff. KVYO, I will on Saturday. I got to write this down. Just do 4 or 5 model book stocks and just we're going to take a look at more recent ones too, not from 29. All right, KVYO. This one I have a hard time trading. I don't know why. It just doesn't fit my personality for some reason. I just don't have conviction in some computer software stocks as I do in others. Like I have a lot of confidence in some of them. Like I just showed you a couple Spotify crowd. Did I show you crowd? Yeah, I showed you crowd and Twilio, but I don't have it in this one, so I keep getting stopped out. And you can see it's kind of herky jerky. But over, if you take a look at the weekly, man, this thing looks pretty damn good. And I could see, long-term holders just holding on to this one. And yeah, congrats. That's fantastic if you're able to do that. Cloudflare, this is one that I had on my ready list last week, I believe, or the week before. Yeah, last week at that 119 level. She's gone now up more than 11%, more than 10% today. So congrats to the longs there if you picked that one up last week. I did not because I was too stupid. I was buying stuff like I was long the data center plays, Anyway, that stuff happens. I'm not gonna cry, at least not on a video. GoDaddy, another one that I like a lot, a lot, a lot. This one to me has the makings of like, yeah, one of these monster stocks, right? You don't see, a 30% drop in a day on GoDaddy. Here's one that was down 10% in a week. That was last year. Let's take a look at this. Can't even find it. It was this week here. Yeah, 167 to 148. Just consolidating, man, just ripping higher. This one looks like a model book stock too. 211.11. Yeah, answer the phone. It's time to go. GoDaddy. looks great. Got the blue dot breaking out of a base here, a little flat base pattern. GoDaddy looks fantastic. One of my faves. Sometimes you have faves, just like your kids, you love them all, but you like some better than others. Just kidding. Just kidding. TG Therapeutics, this is one I was going to put on my ready list. Did not, because the market's just too wobbly right now, and I didn't want to start adding after yesterday's move. But definitely, breaking above this downtrend line, and I guess if you really wanted to dissect this thing, you'd say this is a double bottom base pattern, and now it's trying to break out of this base and rip higher. So just consolidating now. We'll see what it looks like, in a couple weeks after they report earnings. It says March 4th, but the last time they reported earnings was November 1st. So I'm expecting February 1, which is Saturday. So maybe they'll announce Friday and report Monday. That's what I'm thinking. That's kind of what they do. CORT, because I switched gears from software to biotech because I like TG Therapeutics. I like CORT. Why? Well, it's flagging here, allowing the moving averages to catch up. This one's got, accelerating sales growth, accelerating earnings growth. This is not a fly-by-night speculative biotech play, man. These guys have real sales and earnings growth. And since I'm on the drug kick, I got to mention Novo Nordisk today. Got FDA approval for kidney and heart, expanding their patent on Ozempic, and the stock went down on that news. So to me, when you get good news and you go lower, that's not a good sign. So they're just waiting for the earnings here and see what they say about the Catalent deal and how fast they plan to ramp up their manufacturing, because this company's going to be making money from other companies just manufacturing drugs for them. So it's just very well managed company. But also the Trump administration talked about tariffs on pharmaceuticals from, the ADRs, the foreign chemical or pharmaceutical makers, which Novo is one. So that also helps out, stocks like TGTX, and Amgen, which makes their stuff here in America, this is a San Diego company, or Merck, which is East Coast, I believe they're New Jersey, or Pfizer. So these are American companies. They might not be great, but but they're American, and so to avoid that 25% tariff, they might have to manufacture in the United States. Anyway, that will help American stocks, and that's my political speech for today. Sorry about that. All right, I'm going to move on because you guys know I love retail space. And on holdings, this is one that I had on my ready list as well. I did buy this one. Yesterday it pulled back to its 10, trading tight within a base, moved higher, pulled back, a little bit of a shakeout on Monday if we take a look at this, and then a nice 3% move today. This is yesterday, Monday morning here. So it had this shakeout Monday morning, and then, some buyers came in. Then today it ramped up in the morning. Yeah, there were some profit takers, but buying into the close. So yeah, I took a swing because I want some retail. I don't want to be all data centers or semiconductors and I know, there's differing opinions on, I'm going to go all in. I'm 100% in on GEV, and then you get that 30% hammer down. Well, it doesn't feel too good. So I'm trying to diversify a little bit, getting some, higher beta stocks with some lower beta stocks, and getting some retail and getting some, software as well. So anyway, you have my Reddit list, so you know what I'm looking at. If you belong to mcstockcharts.com. Shark Ninja is one that I'm looking at as well. Did I buy it? No, but it's trading tight within the base. And once again, you really have to watch for the earnings calls. This one's coming up February 13th. I really like the chart, and I like, the growth numbers, 25 sales growth, 31, and then 33. I think that's accelerating. Yeah, 16 to 33, So yeah, Shark Ninja is a very well-run company. I believe they had a good Christmas. Yeah, everybody got their significant others vacuum cleaners and skillets for Christmas, right? Anyway, I think they had a good Christmas, and I think it's going to reflect in their quarterly report. Garmin is another one that I have on my ready list. Once again, I believe I bought this one today as well. Another kind of retail consumer product stock trading tight within the base. Once again, it didn't pop great. It's not a high beta stock, but consolidating within a base. It's to me, it's a safer play. I don't think it's going to lose 30%, but you can see how it's been acting, over time, a gap up here, a gap up here. And, that's kind of what you want to see with your stock, going higher and not dropping 30%. Yeah. So that's a nice move there. So anyway, yeah, I like retail and I like those. And obviously the shoe stocks are going to be impacted by Deckers, which reports on Thursday after the markets close. This thing looks great to me. I don't know how they're going to report. I would imagine they're going to have a good quarter. I can't believe that Hoka's would just all of a sudden stop selling. Well, I don't know. Maybe they'll have a decrease in sales. I kind of doubt it. Looking at the retail sales data, with apparel and fragrance, which was really strong. I got to believe Decker is going to report a strong quarter, and that is going to help stocks like On Holdings and even Crocs and Skechers too. Oh my gosh, Crocs can't get over 100. That's right there. Telling you, that's a retest. And then Skechers, wow, that looks pretty good right there. Skechers on the weekly. It's been consolidating for a long time. So anyway, yeah, Decker's report will impact that. And just the last, before I go, the retail restaurant group. This is a cheesecake factory. I heard their menu is like 30 pages long. Believe it or not, I've never been to Cheesecake Factory. A lot of restaurants I don't go to because I'm just that way. But anyway, I like to make my own food. I like to cook. Anyway, that 5210 was an area of interest today and it popped above that. So Cheesecake Factory looks great. Another one that I wanted to mention is Dutch Bros. I think Bros is really due for a really strong year and let's make this thing green. How about that? I believe it's in for a strong year in 2025. I believe they're going to report 4 good quarters and it's going to be higher. How much higher? I don't know, but it won't be 60 by the end of the year. How about that? This thing made this gap higher, and did it give any of it back? No, it didn't. And now what is it doing? It's kind of stalling here or forming like a flag type of pattern, if you will, here. Just a little bit of consolidation on top of more consolidation at that 56 to 50 level. Now it's 55 to 60. I would expect it to trade higher. Anyway, last one and retail is SE, another just a chart that I like. Um, yeah, a chart that I like. How about that? It was up more than 4% today. Once again, I had like 50 stocks. It was a lot of stocks on my watch list. I had a hard time paring it down to like 12 stocks. And I didn't want to go too crazy. We have 2 great weeks in a row back to back, and a lot of stocks set up this week, and none of them were in that data center, because they were all extended. These VST and GEVs, they're not on the ready list because they were too extended, and now we know why, because they sold off. So there's a lot of other different names on the ready list, and I mentioned RCL earlier because of the earnings break. That's a nice move there. But also, Viking was down today on the report that they're going to offer, these river cruises targeted at Viking. And so this is my boomer trade. Yeah, it sold off in the morning, man. Another heart attack trade. This thing was down to 45. Yeah, it closed at what? 49. So nice move there. Nice shakeout on Viking. Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. So Royal Caribbean, sparked a rally in these things today. This thing was up 7%, as this is my boomer trade. And then CCL, not RCL, but CCL. Carnival, nice move there. These things had a little bit of consolidation here, and now they look like they're ready to move. There's your ADR, Carnival ADR. Just, yeah, very nice. Okay. That's it for me. Thank you for watching, except for at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up, and we always honor the great Steve Jobs. One more thing. Tonight's earnings reports. There's a ton of earnings between the market close today and the market open tomorrow. And obviously, we have Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla tomorrow. But Cuervo reported tonight. It was up, yeah, this is up like $15. on the report. So they must have said something on the conference call that or guided lower, but we'll have to check this one tomorrow. It was up over 100 when I started this video, and now it's flat essentially. FFIV, F5, Internet Network Solutions stock up more than 12% on another strong earnings report. So I'll have more in the mornings on this because you just get the headlines and you really can't really dig into the details. Starbucks, I did notice that I think their same source sales was down, but they beat. They got Brian Nichols there. He knows how to play the game. Slight beat on the top and bottom line. So, it was better than feared, I guess you could say. Starbucks hanging in there, and that's going to help Bros. That's why I mentioned Bros. Yeah, 60 after hours. So Starbucks will help Bros. Let me see what else reported after hours. A lending club, yeah, down 16%. Nobody's lending from the club. SAP, this is an ADR. I'm not sure if they reported. Because yeah, they're on German time, so it's down 3% after hours. I'll have more in the morning on this. LRN, they reported tonight. This is a education stock up more than 6% after hours. Very nice. The solar stock, NXT. This one is up, yeah, nicely, $45 now. 13% after hours, so nice break above that old area here for NXT. That'll be an area to watch tomorrow, 44 and a quarter. Um, Let me see. Let me see if I can get this right. Stryker, they just bought a company last week. Yeah, flat after earnings report. Like I said, I'll have more tomorrow. And then in the morning, I got to cover ASML. These guys have a monopoly on the semiconductor equipment area, so that is definitely going to be one to watch. And then the insurance company, Progressive, they report tomorrow morning. Chubb reported tonight, kind of flat. They were talking about the hurricanes and the fires, and whining, but they've had a great run. Brinker International reports in the morning. This is going to impact some of those retail restaurant stocks as well. VFC, apparel clothing, 10 billion market cap. It's had a nice run. Yes, I do not like stocks that look like that going into earnings, but we'll see how it performs. And then T-Mobile taking market share from Verizon and AT&T. We'll see what they have to say in the morning. Anyway, thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up, ever.